And there's a view looking south down University Avenue with the CN Tower looming off in the distance. And hey there, it is Monday, December 2nd. It is 4:09 p.m. right now, and the temperature is around 3 degrees Celsius. And this is the intersection of University and Dundas. There go some cyclists using the controversial bike lanes our moron of a premier wants to rip out. And look at all the congestion they're causing here at the start of the afternoon rush hour. It's just a big mess here on University Avenue. At least that's what the province wants you to believe. But of course they're full of shit. So what I'm going to do for this one is head north a block here. And I'm going to make a left and head over to the north end of Simcoe Street. And we're going to go for a stroll south down Simcoe all the way to Lake Ontario. I just thought I'd get out at St. Patrick's Station. And one of the great things about these bike lanes is they are wide enough for an emergency vehicle to use them. It's been shown that cyclists have a much easier time getting out of the way of emergency vehicles than drivers in cars. And this one's not going to be about that. It's going to be about Simcoe Street. There's 4 major hospitals just up ahead, along with the Provincial Legislative Assembly.
I'm gonna go to St. Mike's anyway for seminars.
There's Mount Sinai, Princess Margaret, Toronto General, and Sick Kids, all just north of here. And this is the very north end of Simcoe. You can make a little jog and keep going north up Murray Street. And there's a brief stretch where Simcoe becomes pedestrian only. We'll also be going by the backside of the United States Consulate. And it looks like a 64-story tower is slated to go in at 522 University, or at least being proposed. So the first few blocks of this walk are going to be a bit sleepy. It's kind of a quiet side street, but once we get south of Queen, things will pick up a bit. But whenever I get the chance to walk a street in its entirety, and it can be done in about 30-40 minutes or so, I often try to do that. And the street takes its name after Lord John Graves Simcoe. And he served as the first Lieutenant Governor of Upper Canada. There's a bike share rack. That Donair place. Yo, Donair smells pretty good. And later, Upper Canada, for the most part, became what is present-day Ontario. This isn't very pedestrian-friendly to cross, but I could head back over to University. Or we could just cross this way. It's perfectly legal as long as you're not impeding traffic. Jaywalking would be when you go against a signal or a marked crossing. There's a major Toronto police station. They've got this little compound in the back where they don't want you to get a look into. I think it's just parking. I've peeked the camera over there before. And John Graves Simcoe was instrumental in introducing courts to Upper Canada, along with trial by jury, English common law, and he helped abolish slavery, along with Henry Dundas. Although Henry Dundas gets blamed for endorsing slavery, what he was actually doing was trying to phase it out to prevent an underground market from appearing. And these buildings, I quite like. They're a little bit gray, but that's a fantastic design. And not too many people are going to get a clear view of it. Sandwiched on Simcoe, I think between Simcoe and St. Patrick. Looks like it's 5 stories of commercial. And then a condo up top. That is 230 Simcoe Street. There it is, the U.S. consulate. No doubt there's a strong security presence. There's probably someone watching me walk around the building right now on a monitor. The embassy, of course, being in Ottawa. And there's probably the most well-known building on University Avenue, the Beaux Arts Canada Life building. And that dates back to 1931, and you can see the weather vane on top. The temperature is rising according to that. And this is the pedestrian-only stretch. Although I guess emergency vehicles can move these out of the way. And straight ahead, Metrolinx is working on a new entrance to Osgoode subway station. And They're trying to preserve the facade of an old bank building. We'll get a close look at that in a moment. The Campbell House Museum is coming up on the left. And this is Queen Street West. So that's an old Bank of Commerce building that's been gutted. That dates back to the 1920s. The main entrance to Osgoode Station is right over there. You can see they pulled out the old facade and moved it down the street. I think they're going to slide it back into place. I don't know what the plans are for this building, but Metrolinx has done an absolutely terrible job of land use. So hopefully it's not just a big open space with a set of escalators and an elevator down to the platforms and some Presto machines that really could use up a fraction of that space. Hopefully it is retail. And ideally there'd be some residential or commercial up top. But knowing Metrolinx, it's going to be a big useless box. There's plenty examples of their horrendous land use along Eglinton, for the many years late and billions of dollars over budget crosstown LRT project. And some people even question, what is the point of preserving this? I think it's better than nothing. That sure probably cost a small fortune to move. And now we're at Richmond Street. This is a one-way street going westbound through the heart of the entertainment district, or what used to be where a lot of the nightlife was. And this, some good old-fashioned jaywalking. And coming up is Adelaide Street, and we're walking by the backside of the Shangri-La Hotel in a moment. I had a chance to tour that property in a video a few years ago and check out the amenities and one of the rooms. It's definitely a costly place to stay. And this old building was somewhat preserved and incorporated into the Shangri-La. There's another heritage building on that side. I think this was the Bishop's Block series of row homes. Let's see what this plaque has to say. There it is, Bishop's Block. Among the oldest buildings in downtown Toronto. The townhouse of Bishop's Block were constructed between 1830 and 1840 for John Bishop, a butcher and landlord. And I think when they were constructing the Shangri-La, they came across all kinds of artifacts in the soil, and it held things up a bit. I might as well cross. It doesn't look like there's much of a sidewalk on that side. There's 196 Adelaide. And we're approaching King Street. The site of the old Upper Canada College, which is now north of here. Just north of St. Clair and Avenue. And there's an exit from a speakeasy about half a block in that direction. And here's the Elephant and Castle. They used to have a location at Yonge and Gerrard. And I think this one might be under fire as there's a development proposal for this building. I think we might see this incorporated into a skyscraper as we take a look over at St. Andrew's, one of the more famous churches in the city. That one was built in 1876, and I got a chance to pass through there as part of Doors Open. And there is Roy Thompson Hall, home to the Toronto Symphony Orchestra. And another look at the Elephant and Castle, and the Royal Alex Theatre and the Princess of Wales Theatre off in that direction. And we'll be going along part of the Canada Walk of Fame. Most of it's on King Street. But Roy Thompson Hall here was designed by world-renowned architect Arthur Erickson, who I think also did a major library in Chicago in the early 90s. Walter Ostkonek, I'm sure I mispronounced that. Ferguson Jenkins. Jack Warner. Most of the, Mary Pickford, Shirley Douglas. Most of the more recognizable names are along King Street. There's one everyone in this country should know. Mario Lemieux, Jim Carrey, Johnny Bower, Gordon Pinsett, Catherine O'Hara, Lloyd Robertson. This country has cranked out a lot of great names. Maurice Richard, disproportionately hockey players. As we get to Wellington Street. So we're a block west of the financial district. This area is still considered the entertainment district.
Why is she asking us?
Here's what happens in Toronto too much, people getting stuck in the intersection. That vehicle blocking the view of drivers turning left. You always have to be on your toes as a pedestrian. And to the right, coming up is Simcoe Place, which used to be the tallest building in this immediate vicinity. You used to see pictures of the skyline, and it would kind of appear next to the Sky Dome, but it's since been dwarfed by a number of much taller nearby towers, including this one that just went up. That's one of the better new additions to this area. That Simcoe Place here on the right is 460 feet tall, which seems short by today's standards. And that went up in 1995. There's Scatabush. And we're about to cross Front Street. And walk down Lower Simcoe. Maybe I'll cross over to the east side because I have nothing better to do. There's a GO train making its way out to suburbia. At this time of day, it's a never-ending stream of GO trains rolling by, coming out of the busiest transportation hub in the entire country, Union Station. Whisking people back home to suburbia. Look to the east towards Union. And now it is Lower Simcoe. A GO train pulling into Union. And much of this area south of Front didn't even exist in the 1800s. Between 1918 and 1938, the shoreline was extended a considerable distance. And in recent years, you couldn't even go south under this underpass. This was plugged up. Much like Dufferin Street, just north of Queen. They tunneled this out and opened it up. I believe this is Aboriginal artwork. think there might be a Leaf game on tonight. There's a lot of Maple Leaf jerseys around this area. And one Blackhawks jersey. There's the Delta Hotel on the left. This is Bremner Boulevard coming up. And the oddly named Olympic Park just across the street. With the Sky Dome, Ripley's Aquarium, the Metro Convention Center, and of course the CN Tower looming behind it. Did I pan up and get all the tower? There we go. It's a pretty mean looking sky tonight. Scotiabank Arena, just off to the east. The last stretch of Bremner is known as Raptors Way. These signs never look all that official to me. But often they come out when there's an event. Probably the Leaf game tonight. So we're gonna head south and head underneath the Gardiner and cross Lakeshore Boulevard and pop into Harbourfront, where in a few weeks a skating rink will appear. Which is a sigh of relief for a lot of people in the city, as it was announced that it would be closed indefinitely due to funding. Look over at the ice towers. A Lucky Clover Sports Pub. Traffic not so congested around here at the moment. These things spin around. Hope to hop on a train that will take us back home to Hamilton. We had a great day exploring downtown, St. Lawrence Market, the waterfront, the Railway Museum, the CN Tower, Sugar Beach, Union Station, and Avita Hair School. TO is such a cool place. Visitor. Sounds like a thinly veiled advertisement for the Avita Hair School. One of those places mentioned does not quite belong. Look at that countdown, 40 seconds. So I guess technically you're supposed to stop here, even though I think 99% of the population could make it across. In general, that's how most people respond to these countdowns. As long as they can get across before they're timed out, they go. This is Harbour Street. Is that during Taylor Swift? Probably not. The roof's open for that one. Let's a look at the South Core. we are not far away from the lake, where we hope to do a quick live stream tonight, just testing out a wireless microphone setup that I've been working on. I've had some trouble streaming with a wireless mic lately after a firmware update to my trusty Osmo Pocket 3 caused all sorts of interference and stuttering. I was playing around in my apartment and I think I found a solution. But I kind of want to do a real world test. So I'm going to start at the lake and walk north into downtown somewhere. Well, I guess starting at the lake is starting downtown. There's an excellent dim sum in that dim sum restaurant in that building straight ahead. Henry from Toronto Tech and Transit invited a bunch of Toronto walktubers and viewers in the community to lunch after the Santa Claus parade. That was very nice and generous of him. He does videos around Toronto and live streams. You can check that out at Toronto Tech and Transit. So what happened was they removed the long-serving ice rink from here, and it was thought to be permanent. The ice rink was closed in January of 2023 as part of cost-cutting measures. And in its place, an ugly, oh man, I need to get some sleep, an ugly, boring slab of concrete masquerading as a park went in its place. They've announced it's coming back. I'm not sure the exact date, but I think it'll be in a few weeks' time. It's always one of the more popular places to skate downtown. The rink at Nathan Phillips Square is open, as is the one at TMU, the former Ryerson University. And I think this is where they're setting things up. They're either going to use this park area here or the amphitheater, which they've used in the past. Well, this area looks like a mini Christmas market. But it's closed off. There's the Kahama, a tall ship. Yeah, so there'll be no skating there, which means it's going to have to be where the amphitheater is. That used to be known as the Natrel skating rink. if this is in fact where the rink's going to be. They've got some work to do to rip all the bolts out of these seats. If you know where that rink's going to end up, let me know down in the description. I apologize if this video is full of misinformation. Could be worse. I could be in the province trying to tell you how to relieve congestion in the city. There's the Empire Sandy, and we are at the end of the road for this one. I hope you enjoyed it. Do let me know your thoughts and comments down below. If you wish to support what I do on YouTube, there's links to my channel membership and Patreon down in the description. I have an Instagram account at Johnny Strides, and there is a super thanks button appearing down below if you wish to say thanks that way. Anywho, thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. We'll leave things with a much nicer view than my stupid face. So thanks for watching, guys. Yoink.